The City Council is primed to offer their own recommendations on how Framingham can comply with the MBTA Communities Act, updates on the city's transition to an in-house model for school bus transportation, and a look at a broadcasting program from the locally based Learning Center for the Deaf. I'm Brendan Fitzpatrick, and this is The Frame, Framingham News in Focus. Hi, and welcome to The Frame, an initiative of Access Framingham. We start right back up with an update on the MBTA Communities Act process this week, as the City Council is setting the stage to offer their own zoning district ideas following the submission of a new plan from the Mayor's administration. The Council's meeting this past Tuesday, November 19th, was highlighted by further discussion on the state law, which again requires that any municipality with T-service has to offer at least one multifamily housing district as of right within its zoning. Framingham could become out of line with the law by the turn of the new year, potentially putting the city at risk of missing out on state assistance for a variety of projects. One zoning plan was already recommended to the councilors by the city's planning board earlier this fall, but another proposal was developed and released late last week after the city council requested that the work be done with recent public input in mind. In a memo dated November 15th, the city's Director of Planning and Community Development, Sarkis Sarkeesian, outlined the new proposal, which featured zoning across Framingham for a total of 4,634 possible new units. Housing density within districts in downtown Framingham, Saxonville, Knobscott, Shoppers World, the 990 area, and Speen Street spans between 20 and 25 units per acre in the most recent pitch. Still, the City Council was not in unanimous agreement, as some members, such as Christine Long of District 1, urged colleagues to consider the long-term impacts of their eventual decision, even if it means assessing the matter past December 31st.
I don't think we should be rushing through a process that's going to permanently transform Framingham forever. I think that we need to be able to re-advertise this with the pieces that everybody in here opts to, and the City Council should be discussing this. And yes, it does have to go to the Planning Board for a recommendation, but I don't see that either Plan 1 or Plan 2 are options right at this point, from what I'm hearing here, what I'm hearing in the public.
City councilors eventually voted against referring the most recent ideas to the planning board, as at-large City Council member George King proposed taking votes among the legislative body to add, remove, or alter overlay districts before sending those to the planning board. Those ideas from councilors are set to be laid out during their meeting this upcoming Monday the 25th during a public hearing. From there, the City Council and Planning Board could hold a joint public meeting on the matter. Meanwhile, the Framingham School Committee met on Wednesday, November 20th to hear updates on the city's transition to an in-house model for school bus transportation. Struggles for Framingham Public Schools continue with their current bus provider, NRT Bus Incorporated, as driver shortages resulted in just 53 drivers serving local students at the start of this school year. The city's contract with NRT calls for 77 drivers. Back in March, the school committee voted to move towards preparing an in-house model where drivers would be city employees for the start of July and summer programming. A presentation was offered to the committee on Wednesday outlining steps already taken to get an in-house system up and running. School officials say they've worked to leverage local and state resources in order to find the right candidates and provide competitive wages for drivers. Executive Director of Finance and Operations for FPS, Lincoln Lynch, noted they're targeting a mark of $35 an hour for drivers. Lynch added that the city is also aiming to offer a variety of hours for drivers within the in-house model, providing flexibility for those who wish to work full-time or part-time. All of that, he says, are steps to cater to their number one priority, the students and families of Framingham.
We're ready to work as hard as we can for kids. What Absolutely. We're offering now is unacceptable, and there's still kids who don't have a ride to school. So our number one goal is to make sure as many kids as we can get to school next year. Not only get to school, but get there on time.
We have plenty of more details about those updates on the MBTA Communities Act and the bus shortage situation on our website, www.theframe.news. We encourage you to log on there to learn more about these developments, along with other pieces we've covered across Framingham. We'll be sure to keep you updated on any further news on those municipal fronts and additional stories that matter to your community. Find us on social media too. We're on Instagram and X at @FrameNews_. Subscribe to Access Framingham's YouTube channel and hit the bell icon there to be notified whenever we upload a new Frame episode. Find us on Facebook too, just by searching for The Frame. A ceremony was held this past Sunday, November 17th, to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the Cushing Memorial Chapel here in the city. The building has a long history, having first been erected as part of the 100-acre military hospital in the 1940s, a history that we covered in a segment here on The Frame back in March. The complex has by and large become the Cushing Memorial Park that we know today, but the chapel still stands, following efforts to preserve its spot in Framingham's history decades ago. Over 100 people were on hand to mark the anniversary. Proclamations and citations from local and state officials were read at the chapel on Sunday in honor of its legacy. Some news you can use now with the holiday set for next week. First, the DPW is advising residents of Framingham that its final week of curbside leaf collections begins on Monday, November 25th. So this weekend would be a good time to take care of that if you haven't already done so. The last brush collection, meanwhile, will be the week of December 8th. As for Thanksgiving itself, drivers should be aware of the 29th annual Turkey Classic 5K road race next Thursday, November 28th. The race will begin right at 8 o'clock that morning, as runners of all ages will start and finish the roughly 3-mile course at the police department headquarters downtown. So anyone driving around that area at that time should take note. The Metro West Food Collaborative is letting people know about a wide range of food resources in Framingham ahead of Thanksgiving. This upcoming week, Daniel's Table, the Grace House, the Pearl Street Cupboard and Cafe, and the Salvation Army will be providing food for those in need. Pre-registration may be required for those interested, so visit www.metrowestfoodcollaborative.org or visit the Metro West Food Collaborative's pages on Facebook or Instagram to learn more. And finally, it wouldn't be Thanksgiving without some football. Framingham High School will be on the road to take on their rivals Natick High for the 120th time in their history. The Flyers will attempt to win their second straight game on Turkey Day against the Red Hawks following their thrilling victory last year. Kickoff in Natick is set for 10 a.m. Thanksgiving morning. And now finally, a preview of this week's Frame by Frame segment. We here at AFTV were pleased to welcome members of the Learning Center for the Deaf, which is based here in the city, into our studios. The center is working to introduce their students to the field of broadcasting. We spoke with educator Angela Pettigrew to learn more about this program and the state of accessibility for deaf people within the broadcasting industry. Let's take a look.
Really, I think the goal for them as part of this program is to, again, develop more confidence and comfort with the knowledge that comes in using broadcasting skills. Even if they're at a place where they're not confident yet, the hope is that throughout the year, they start feeling more confident in their ability, more able to take a script written in English and translate it into ASL, and feel confident in signing something in their first language and feeling that this is something that they can achieve. They're able to start the whole process with filming, interviewing, editing, and knowing that they can own every step of this, I think will really help to instill that sense of confidence and optimism.
Now, if you want to watch that piece on the Learning Center for the Deaf's broadcasting program in its entirety, head over to our website, theframe.news, or visit Access Framingham's channel on YouTube. That's all for this week's Framingham News in Focus. We appreciate you spending your time with us. We're off next week for Thanksgiving, so on behalf of the entire team here at The Frame, enjoy your holiday. Until next time, I'm Brendan Fitzpatrick. Take care.